Yo, welcome to the INSOMNIACS Podcast. After a long hiatus, this is your host, Nova, back with another episode. We're sorry to be gone for so long. You know, CoolHand was cool-handing. Well, he was warm-handing. I'm sorry. And, you know, we're back. We're back out here. We do have a guest joining us today, but I'll announce him last. First and foremost, we have the one, the only, the notorious CoolHandCruz. What up, CoolHand?
What's going on, baby? And I'm back. I went to Cali, and I'm back on the East Coast. Good to be back, man. Honestly, man. Let's get the show on the road, man. Let's get these intros out the way, man. We got a guest.
He's
been waiting.
He's
waiting, man.
Speaking about getting the show on the road, CoolHand, it sounds like you're on the road right now.
Yeah, sadly, I gotta drive to my mom's.
Money don't sleep.
Yeah, Money don't sleep, bro. Money don't sleep, son.
Next up, we have. Oh, sorry to cut you short. Next up, we have a regular. He only does his intro one time, so if you miss it, that's on you. C, or should I say G-Dolla sign.
Hello.
You son of a bitch.
That's all you get.
Oh, every time. Leaves you wanting more.
That's all you get, guys. And last but not least, our illustrious guest, friend of the show, host of LISTNIGHT Podcast on Apple Music, YouTube, wherever else you got it, Griffin Q.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate you guys having me again. Always a pleasure to be back on the pod. Cruz came out here to Cali, realized he was not about that West Coast life. He went back to the East Coast. However, stayed out here. I am all about those West Coast vibes. Laker Nation, stand the F up. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, Griffin, it's always a pleasure to have you on, bro. And I was echoing for a second. Always great to have you on, and I'm looking forward to our List Night segment later in the show. So
I am as well. It's always a pleasure to be here. I appreciate it.
Spoiler alert.
What's a spoiler alert?
Save that for last, man. You know.
Oh well, hey.
It's not a spoiler alert to announce what topics you may cover.
Yeah, just keep watching.
You know who doesn't watch the news? CoolHand.
Oh yeah, I know. I can tell.
Not even a little.
Well, yeah.
There should be no CoolHand slander.
I mean, CoolHand watches a TV show. He sees the opening theme, and during the opening theme, starts screaming, "Spoilers! What the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this?
This show's with Don Lemon. Oh, now I know who's on it. What the hell?"
Thank you guys.
But yeah, guys, that's enough CoolHand slander for now. We shall move on to our topics. Oh damn, I didn't do games of the week this week.
But don't worry, I got them in my head. I know which ones are coming out.
All right.
So what? So hey, here's CoolHand's game of the week. Game of the week. May 21st. Coming for PC, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and the Xbox. Knockout City, coming to you live and direct. Then, finishing off the week, Thursday to Thursday, May 25th, the long-anticipated, the much-delayed, Biomutant, coming out for PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Going today. And that's it.
All right. Y'all heard it here.
Oh, yeah.
Those are our games of the week. Normally we have a little graphic, but I didn't have time to make it this week.
I do want to say I'm really hyped for Biomutant. Been following the development of that for a while. It may end up being super bad. I don't know, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, I watched the dev explanation trailer, and it looks pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited for it.
It looks just kind of weird. It looks kind of like vaguely like Redwall-ish, and I'm here for that.
You're here for it. What did you guys think? Just as like a little side topic before we get into it, what you guys think about the whole controversy on Twitter? Of course, there's controversy every day on Twitter about how the PlayStation 5 version apparently isn't getting the native 4K version. It's getting like a up-res 1080 version. Do we care? Is this something we should be worried about? I just want to chime in on the Twitter drama real quick because, everyone loves themselves some good old Twitter drama.
I mean, it depends on how they do the upscaling, right? I mean, not all upscaling is equal. So sometimes the render resolution can be 1080 and it's like upscaled so well that you can't even tell. Like a lot of people can't even tell. So like, I guess it depends on the implementation. I have to see with my own eyes because I'm definitely gonna be playing this game.
Now, do you think this is going to be something that's just like a temporary, like, hey, this is how we have to launch the game? It'll be native or close to native later on, or do you think this is just, architecture wise, this is all they can? This is the most they can put out. What do you guys think?
I think this is likely a temporary thing. It seems the way that they've been talking about a lot of this, whether it's on the Series X or on the PS5. It seems like more often than not, these are temporary issues that they're going to do their best to patch out, whether it's something on their side or whether it is like a console-wide patch that's going to be released from the develop. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of an issue, really, is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well, I see a lot of PlayStation guys on Twitter like saying, "Oh, skip. I'm not checking for this game anymore," just because that's the case. Because
Not.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. It was echoing for a sec. I think people are looking for something to be mad about if you're getting to the point where you're like actively choosing not to purchase a game because it's upscaling rather than being native 4K. But it's their dollar. They choose to spend it how they want. It is what it is.
That's facts. I just want to say shout out to Captain Crunch here in the chat. Yo, we got already 10 people concurrent. If you're in here and you're a regular of the show, say what's up in the chat. We got a guest in the house. Cool Hand is back from Warm Handing, so
Yeah, I mean, I think FPS is more important than resolution. So the fact that it's hitting 60 FPS on the PS5 I think that's what's most important.
yeah. Honestly, my 100% honest opinion, I have not checked for it. I haven't really looked into the game that much. I know, scrub. So I'm gonna kind of reserve my thoughts until I really take a look at it. But yeah, just notice a lot of people are mad about it.
It's one of those things where you need to try. If you're complaining about it that much, you might as well try it out for yourself to make a very informed decision. And that's otherwise there is no reason to complain about it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's like to hate just to hate is really stupid. It's a moot point at that point. It's like, why are you doing this? Like, have you tried it? You don't even know if it's good.
Yeah. And I just want to
shut the fuck up and sit back.
I just want to address Captain Crunch in the chat says very small studio, they'll fix in time. Yo, Saltiest Gaming, what up, brother? Glad to have you in here. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch Saltiest Gaming. If you don't, check him out. He does the show every Thursday. I believe at 8 o'clock Eastern, so a little bit after ours starts normally. But long friend of the show, longtime supporter. I've been on Saltiest Gaming podcast before. It's a great show. Well, Salty, I just want to use this platform right now to say, hey, we're finally we got Griffin on tonight. We're starting to get guests back on, so look out for a DM for me to get you on here ASAP, man. Shout out to Jonathan Isaiah in the chat. Good to have you here, bro. But yeah, guys, so we talked a little bit Biomutant. Let's get into some of the topics. As you know, we've missed the past roughly 2 weeks. We tried streaming last week, but that was a big ass fail. And we want to get back to the topic. So there are some topics that might be a little old, but we want to have you guys hear our take on it. So let's move on to the first topic, which I'm actually super excited for, even to this day. These new PS5 controllers. If you're in the chat, what do you think? Did you guys already pre-order these? Are these must cops? Like what's going on here? Me personally, that Midnight Black, I got the D brand skin on my PS5, so this is just gonna fit right at home. What do you guys think about these controllers? Do you guys like the Crimson Red version or the Midnight Black more?
I'm not a fan of the Crimson Red that much. I did see this really cool digital rendition after like the Carnage trailer dropped, and they did like someone photoshopped it and turned the Midnight Black into a Venom controller and turned the Crimson Red into a Carnage style controller, and I thought that was really cool. But as far as like without that stuff, I didn't like the hue of the red. I don't really like the what texture possibly looks like. The black though, however, wow,
that motherfucker clean.
That shit looks nice. It's sleek. It's beautiful. I'm excited to see what other colors come out. in terms of just those two. I'm excited for those. And this brings me to my next point, right? Like, I would love to see Sony kind of mimic Microsoft in this regard, because you know how like Microsoft has that thing where you can customize your controller.
Yeah, kind of like Nike ID.
Yes, kind of like Nike ID. I would love to see Sony do that. Let me put a personal spin, a personal touch to my controller, to my PlayStation that I put money in. You know what I mean? I don't mind playing like $100 premium on it as well. You know what I mean? If I'm able to put my own touch to it.
Yeah, for me it was the exact opposite. Like I thought the black one was like vanilla as fuck. Like, I mean, we've had like 3 generations of black controllers. I'm done with black controllers. Give me that red one. I want that red one. Looks nice as fuck. Like that's the one I want. I like the tone. I like how it has kind of like a chrome look to it, but it's like red, and I don't know. It speaks to me. Maybe it's more than my style. I don't know.
I love them both.
Raiders fans everywhere hate you right now.
So I gotta ask you guys, and I don't want to jump away from the controller thing too much.
Yeah.
But are any of you planning on removing your faceplates and getting them customized or getting new ones added?
Yeah. I got the black one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do just want a all black one just to go with the all black matte black vibe. Personally, when I saw these controllers, I was like, okay, I was hype. So I think the cool thing about these is like CoolHand sent me a controller, all black controller. It was like twice the price of what Sony's selling it for. So this is going to be a new base for a lot of customs.
Yeah, but it had the color buttons like the PlayStation 2 controller.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Capono in the chat. Long time supporter of us. Thanks for joining us, man. Hope you're doing well as well. And then Captain Crunch says, "Boo! I want a back. I think he means a back button DualSense controller attachment instead. They do look nice. A cool shade of blue would have been fire."
Yeah. You know what else though about these controllers? It opens the door for faceplates now, for like Sony official faceplates, which I'm looking forward to coming down the line if it happens. You know what I mean?
What do you mean faceplates?
Well, now that we have color controllers, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get color faceplates, right?
You mean like removable like side pieces and stuff?
Yeah, removable side pieces for the removable panels for the.
Yeah, I mean, if they make the controller more modular, I mean, I don't know how much they'd have to change the existing controllers to make that happen, but I mean, I'm all about that shit.
I'm talking about not for the controller. I'm talking about for the console itself.
Oh, for the console? Yeah, I mean, that was one of like not. I mean, outside of obviously it just being like a cool console, like the early 360 days when everybody was putting different faceplates on their 360s, and you could get the faceplates like anywhere. It wasn't just like stuff you were getting from online retailers. Like you could get them at like Funko Land or like EB Games or whatever. Like they had that stuff. It was cool, especially as like a teenager who was like, everything I own needs to be unique. Exactly. I loved that stuff back in the day. It wasn't just like a monotone color. It was like graffiti art and shit.
Yeah.
So Sony, if you're listening, man, let's get a Sony ID in place, man. Hurry up and get that shit started.
Cool. Sony, if you're listening, come get my money back.
Cool hand.
All right, you guys do this, and I'll go back to buying your stuff.
You know Sony's not listening. But one day,
yeah, of course not. Also, I'm going to buy their stuff anyways. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah.
They don't need to get my dollar. They're gonna get my dollar.
Exactly. But yeah, so overall, we like these controllers. It's a nice step away from the white and black look, I think. And yeah, I'm 100% in agreement with you, Kuan. Hopefully, this may start the trend of Sony just offering more options in terms of plates. Because think about it, D-Brand's already selling plates. So what stops them, from just saying, hey, fuck D-Brand, we're hopping in this market. Special edition game come out. Hey, well, if you get the deluxe version, it comes with PS5 plates, or something along those lines. What
was the name of the first brand that tried to do that, and then they got stopped. They got a cease and desist from Sony.
It was like a random brand. It was not D-Brand though. I know what you're talking about though. Yeah. So yeah, that should be cool. And Griffin, I know the 360 plates were a hit, man. I had a friend who had this Gears of War one. It was really dope.
Oh
Oh, those
Gears of
were
War was
fire.
fire.
Yeah. So
Pretty much everything Gears of War that they did for like a couple years, like they did a bunch of Gears of War stuff
Yeah.
because people were so in love with that aesthetic for a little bit. It was all fire. Like
Yeah.
it was grungy and like it was just very mid 2000s, and I
Yep.
fucked with it super heavy back in the day.
or the 360 Elite Halo edition. Do you guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, those were fire.
That was fire. I remember it came with a controller there that I was really jealous of.
Yeah,
I
it's
just-
somewhat of a tangent, but Nova, since you got Game Pass, are you gonna try out Gears 5?
Oh! I have an announcement because we missed the last show. As of May 5th, right? And I want to make this very clear to everyone. As of May 5th, I am no longer a subscriber to Game Pass because I had it for 3 months, and the only thing I played was Halo 3 on PC, which was fun, but that's about it. Whether I'm going to get Game Pass again, honestly, I can't say right now that I will until I see some of these new games. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'll never get Game Pass again. I'm just saying maybe once more of these newer games, these first-party day-and-date games, give me a reason
Something to entice you.
Yeah, something to entice me. I'll, without a doubt, hop on just because I have a PC and shit, it's an Xbox Series Plus. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, as of right now, no Game Pass for me. Sorry.
Damn,
That's
son,
all
where'd
right.
you find this?
You're not going to be playing Goat Simulator all the time?
Oh no.
Goat Simulator.
Or Farming Simulator 18 either. Sorry.
Oh man, what about Trucking Simulator? You want to be a truck driver?
See, I think I got that on like PS Plus for free last year. So, and I own it forever. It's not just a rental. Sorry to throw a little bit of Xbox.
I mean,
in
those
there,
sound like iPad games.
pretty
Those
much.
do sound like iPads.
It's just it's crazy to me that they are actual legitimate games with like a lot of dev time behind them. But I mean I guess there's people out there that want to be truck drivers without like all the like amphetamine usage and all that, and
Just
they
waiting.
want to like go home to their wives at the end of the night.
And-
I'm just
truck
waiting
stop.
for an article. I'm just waiting for an article to come out that says like, "Hey, I played Farming Simulator. Now I'm a real farmer." You know what I mean?
Well, there are pilots who do like
Who use Flight
use
Simulator.
Flight Simulator. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
I mean,
legit
Flight
thing.
Simulator is like peak, it's a
Simulation.
legitimate,
Yeah,
like
it's a-
high quality
I took a-
sim
I
of what
took
they
a-
want. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
So
can
I
actually
took-
get like really advanced like virtual cockpits.
Yeah.
I took a beginner's course here on Air Park in Maryland, Gaithersburg.
I'm playing video games.
No. So no, fuck you.
What are the coordinates,
No,
Cool Hand?
No. It was a flight. It was an air school.
Flight school.
They had like flight school shit, whatever. And they had me go on the simulator first for a while, and then you had to take off, you had to land. It was really cool, and it's real time shit too. So you're flying for like, let's say you're flying from Gaithersburg to like Dulles, you know what I mean, which is an airport hub here in the DMV. And it's real time, so you're actually flying that exact like 45 minutes to an hour time to get there or whatever.
I can imagine
what I
Cool
mean?
Hand be like getting up in that simulator and being like,
Bruh.
"Yo, what the fuck? This is Game Pass, man. Fuck learning how to fly. I'm not trying to use this
It was
simulator."
cool. Nah, it was really cool. It was really cool actually.
I know. I'm
So,
just pulling your card.
I've never played any of those. I never played any of the other sim games, but I mean, shit.
I remember
If I ever
Flight
wanted to be
Simulator.
a farmer,
I remember Flight Simulator 98 very well because I remember going to CompUSA with my dad, seeing it, and they had this like really expensive joystick back in the day. Hit the like button if you remember CompUSA. But go ahead.
I mean, Flight Simulator 2020 is pretty sick, because it's like it has like real time weather tracking, it has real time flight data. Where if you're flying, and if there's an actual like commercial airplane that's supposed to be in that airspace, you'll see it in the game.
Yeah.
And like it's like all like satellite imaging, so you can literally like fly over your house.
I hear like
That's crazy.
the best experience though is if you have the game downloaded locally. The only thing is it's like 1.3 petabytes, which is a lot of memory. But
Yeah, I feel
That
like
is
you're
a
gonna need
lot
like a
of
data
memory.
server. Like you can't you have to have something nicer than a PC.
yeah, you need like a freaking
You need a whole server rack.
server. Yeah, I was just about to say like, but I do like that it's kind of like ahead. Like it's that ahead where like some company who takes this shit really serious can have some crazy rig with the multiple monitors and the the cockpit and all that stuff. So pretty cool. I don't know how
simulator LAN parties.
Oh man! All right, we've officially gone off the deep end.
We are off the reservation at this point.
We're talking about flight simulator for more than 60 seconds. Oh man! Slink SC says, "Hey, shout out from the DMV PG. Shout out to my brother Slink and PG. That's for you, Brody. Thank you for checking in, Slink. Always love some local support. That's really dope. Let's get the hell on to the next topic. Even though Returnal's kind of old, Dollar Sign, you're the only one on this panel who's played it extensively. I guess if you can give us like a maybe like 3-4 minute synopsis of your experience with.
Nah, sell me on it. Sell me on it, man. Sell me on it.
No,
hey everyone,
we
at Housemark are excited to give you this sneak peek.
I've been playing it. Honestly, I've taken a break the past week. I haven't picked it up since I got to like the third biome. I got to the third boss, and the third boss kicked my ass, and I have not picked it up since. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I did pick it up once. I finished the first biome, and I had like the nicest setup ever. Like it was like I got lucky on all my artifacts. Like I was about to go wreck through the game. I was going to beat the game on this run. Like I felt it, and the game crashed.
Goddamn.
It tore my heart apart.
I've heard about that happening to a lot of people.
Yeah. So really, the game just severely lacks autosave. Like it really, really needs autosave. Because like if you want to play this game, like you need to set aside like 2 to 3 hours per run. So if you just want to play one run, because like why would you want to do that? Like that's like a 5-6 hour session where you literally can't do anything else to play this game. Like if you have your friends or like, yo, let's play some multiplayer, let's hop on Warzone or Outriders. Like you gotta be like, sorry guys, I'm in the middle of a Returnal run. I can't do anything but play Returnal.
Hold on.
Mention Outriders or else Nova's gonna get upset.
Did you just say the O word?
Oh, hell
there it is.
no!
Knew it was coming. Knew he was gonna say something.
Man.
Take a shot.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, but besides that, the game is very fun. Like the controls are very snappy, very responsive. It's very twitchy. It's the kind of game that if you just love like grinding, like difficult, just hard ass games. Like you just you put in the time, you learn the attack patterns, you learn like all their different like shit that they shoot out and how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes time to master, and you're gonna die a lot, but it's a worthy challenge.
So Dollar Sign, Capono in the chat asked if is Returnal still crashing.
I mean, it crashed on me last week, and I've since picked it up because it was very frustrating.
Are there any patch notes and stuff that we know about?
Yeah. So they did just release a patch, I think, yesterday, and supposedly it added more stability to the game.
I saw a cool thing they added in the patch where like I'm assuming like wherever you die, there's like other like when you come back, your body's still laying there.
No. So your body's like even when you first start, like your first run, like you'll start running into your dead body all over the place. So your dead body is usually like just like spots of interest for you to get like data logs. So it's not like where you died last because like the map completely changes. So you're not going to be able to find like where you died last because that location no longer exists.
Let me know in the chat if you're playing Returnal. Go ahead, Cohen.
I want to know. No, I want to ask. How's the haptic feedback? Like, what's that like?
It is pretty cool. Like you feel the raindrops when it's raining. You feel it on your hand. Like the way they simulate it is pretty interesting. I love these sequences where like you go inside the house because it like the game completely shifts to like a first person kind of like PT game. Where it's kind of like creepy, it has kind of like you're kind of scared to like go down the hallway, and those scenes are really cool. There's also like a daily challenge mode where like there's like just like this random challenge you have to do where like you can't get any health and it's just basically get the high score and then your name goes on a leaderboard, and that's like a rotating thing every day. It's like a different challenge. That's pretty interesting, and usually that runs only like 30-45 minutes, so it's like a nice little bite-sized thing. But this game, it's really fun. It's really hard, but it's just really hard to enjoy without autosave.
All right.
So is it not, and I quote, for widow babies who want to play on baby easy mode?
I got a question for you after that.
Who is that a quote of?
Have you ever seen girlfriend gamer reviews?
We talked about this recently. We have, but I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, it's their most recent one. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
they reviewed Returnal.
Check out Girlfriend Gamers. One thing I want to ask you: is this game, in your opinion, being completely non-biased, is this worth $70 right now?
I think it is, because it is probably the best roguelike game you can play. Like, the mechanics, like I said, are very crisp. It's very responsive. You know, if you die, like, you know why you died. It's not like some weird, like, unresponsive, you know, you're pressing the button but you're not moving type shit. Like, like, you can, like, cancel out any animation. So, like, people for, like, advanced movement, they do something called like I think it's like a dash jump melee. Yeah. Where basically you dash and then you cancel the dash with a melee, and then you can't cancel the melee with a jump. And that just allows you to, like, have this, like, crazy movement in the game. So the fact that they allow you to, like, you know, cancel out animations helps with the responsiveness of the game. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I just don't want to, like, you know, be forced, like, hey, if I want to play this game, I need to set aside 4 hours or 3 hours.
So basically, guys, turn on game mode on your TV and get good. That's what I've got from that. Would you agree, Dollar Sign? Okay, he agrees. You still? We went crickets there for a second.
No, I agree with Captain Crunch. Like, they're definitely gonna add some quality of life improvements to this thing, because it's like sorely lacking. And, like, once they add that, I think I'm probably gonna dive back in and beat it. Because like I know I can beat it. I just don't want to, you know.
Franco just
do those massive time sinks.
Franco just said in the chat. He said it takes 100 hours to platinum the game. Jesus.
Shit.
I haven't started looking at the platinum list for this yet.
Let's talk about a subject that I know is going to be close to the hearts of Dollar Sign and Griffin. Let's talk Hades on PlayStation. Again, you guys tried to sell me Hades before. My ears were open on one side, and then now I'm listening. Let's talk.
Now your heart is open.
I just hate that we have to continue to sell it to you, man. Like, it's I don't want to call it a perfect game because there's no such thing, but within the bounds of what it sets out to do, it is so very close to being a perfect game. Like, art design, amazing. Sound design, amazing. The story, amazing. The, like, actual design of it being a roguelite, so good. And the way that they did it, so awesome. Like,
yeah,
it's just like top to bottom. And you might not like it. Like, you might play it and be like, yo, this isn't for me.
I mean, if you don't like Hades, then you won't like Returnal.
Like, objective value in the game. Like, it's just really, really well done. And you can just feel how crafted it is.
How similar is this in Returnal in terms of the roguelike gameplay?
It's very similar. One's just kind of like top-down isometric, you know, just kind of like kind of old school type of game. You know, it looks very indie. But it's perfect because, like, you know, this game has autosave, the thing Returnal doesn't have, and the entire run is like 45 minutes. So, like, when you sit down, you know, it's like very nice bite-sized fun, and you can do a few runs if you want.
I want to know in the chat.
Like you're dedicating your entire day.
I want to know in the chat if you've played Hades and what you think about it. If you have played it, Griffin.
But the gameplay is very similar to Returnal. It's like a lot of dodging around, avoiding bullet hell, you know, doing your own bullet hell. But it's a nice package.
Now on that CX dollar sign, how is that bullet hell look?
It probably looks shit.
It looks really cool. It looks like it's beautiful. I mean, Returnal. If you're talking about Returnal, it's a beautiful game. This Hades is also very beautiful, and like all the animations are in 30 FPS. So it is a 30 FPS game just because of like kind of like the hand drawn animations are in 30 FPS. So there's no way to upscale that. but it still works really well. It plays well too.
Griffin, is it true that
for getting stuck in 3 FPS?
Is it true that this game plays best on a CRT display?
Hades?
Yes.
I have no idea. I haven't tried it on a CRT display, but I mean, it very well could be. It's also, I don't know. You might just be dogging me. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Is it because CRTs have like very low input lag?
The top down look to it?
No, I was just kind of throwing salt on the game.
Gotcha. That's what I thought you were doing, but I was like, I'm going to answer genuinely because I don't know if he means this or not.
Captain Crunch says something I have in the chat. He says something that I kind of feel. He said side scrollers are a stretch for me, but top down games aren't usually my cup of tea.
Honestly, I generally agree with that. Like it's a rare top down game at this point in like my gaming life that I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Hyper Light Drifter?
No, but I have played.
Hyper Light Drifter is an amazing isometric top down game.
I've heard about it. From what I've seen, you know, I guess what messes me up. I guess looking at these games is one thing, but playing them is another thing. Like I'll say this: a million years ago, Strider, right? Classic game. The PS4 version was, with a free game of the month, and I was like, man,
it's a side scroller.
It's a side scroller, and I was like, I never check out these type of games. I gave Strider a chance, and it was it's still to this day probably my favorite side scrolling game. Period. It's so fucking dope. If you have not played Strider, you should have had it for free on PSN. Look it up and play it. It's really dope, super addicting. Top down.
Before you get to the next topic,
go ahead.
I just want to say I dropped a link in the chat for everyone here who's watching for List Night, which is our guest GQ's podcast that he does with some other friends of ours. And I guess you guys check it out. Link in the chat. Go.
Link in the chat. Check it out.
And one last thing about this. The nice thing about these games is they're not very demanding, right? So you can play these games on the Switch. Like Hades on Switch, Hyper Light Drifter's on Switch. I'm not sure if Strider's on Switch. But
probably is,
they're like great experiences that you can play on handheld just because they're not very demanding.
Yeah, well,
and they're fun games.
I'll tell you this: the fact that it's coming to PlayStation, I'm definitely going to pick this up, and I may even stream this. So
it's definitely a stream worthy game. Definitely a stream worthy game.
So you guys have my attention. Of course, if you guys don't know,
a cool thing about Hades, if you buy it on multiple platforms, it does have cross sync saves. So like, you play within the same account on your PS4, on your Switch, or on your PC.
Okay. Good to know.
It's definitely a good stream game, either to play, because like you can be kind of low key with it once you've kind of mastered the game. Yeah. Or if you're just somebody that watches streams, it's a really good one to watch because it gives the streamer a big opportunity to kind of just chat and then basically do like one of those live podcast kind of streams.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check it out. You guys have my attention.
It's definitely a game. It's definitely a game I plan on streaming once it comes out for PlayStation.
I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about some of these new rumors. And of course, we've been hearing rumors all year about PSVR 2. But what's stuck out about these new rumors is the fact that there's possible eye tracking, right, which isn't a new technology, haptic feedback, which we know about already, 4K resolution, which is kind of big. And I know, there's a new, new Oculus that's 5K. Still, for a consumer-grade VR system.
The new Vive Pros.
Yeah, new Vive Pros have 5K, but you need a 3090 and $1,000 to use this.
Very elitist.
Yes. What really excites me about these new rumors about PSVR are the built-in cameras, because this allows for spatial recognition. This allows for a lot, actually. So on top of having these new controllers, which you guys are looking at on screen, the fact that you can look at your hands and having those cameras on the front of your VR headset may work even better for the fact that there's cameras around. Obviously, collision detection is like the number one thing, but just the immersion. I'm a little surprised that these motion controllers don't have lights on them at all, but maybe they don't need them, with all the technology they have now with gyroscopes and you name the type of sensor. So yeah, this is interesting to me. What do you guys think about, again, specifically eye tracking and the built-in cameras, if that makes it to the production unit?
I think it's smart. Or you go. All right, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm speaking a lot.
Yeah. So I think it's smart because like the other option is to have external sensors instead of having inside out tracking. You need to like buy these or have a couple of sensors where you have to like hang it up on your ceiling and whatnot, and you need like this very large dedicated space to play. So the fact that they're gonna go with the the cameras in the display, so that's how it tracks. I think it's pretty smart. And those controllers, I think that's how like the Valve controllers and the Oculus controllers are kind of like that, where they can track your fingers. So it's nice that Sony's keeping up with the industry with those like hand tracking controllers, and it has like the haptic feedback of the DualSense, which should be interesting to feel. Yeah. And I mean, I'm ready for VR. Like, there's finally a killer VR app with Half-Life Alyx. I've been dying to play that game.
Facts, me too.
So I mean, I'm definitely get the PlayStation VR too, but I'm probably gonna get a VR headset in the meantime just to play Alyx.
I hope that Sony commits to it really hard this time around, and honestly, I hope they put all of the existing potential bells and whistles in it, because even if it is a loss for them in the short term, if they have like their own VR system that people are clamoring to buy, even if it is a loss on the front end, they will make so much money on it over time as it goes on, because they're just going to be ahead of the game. And Microsoft, as they often are doing, are going to have to play catch up with it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to have to buy an existing company and play catch up with that.
Or partner.
Which, I mean, yes, they can do.
Or partner.
Yeah, or they partner. And obviously they've shown that they're able to do that. But,
it's different from a homegrown, though.
Sony needs to hit the ground running with it and get the momentum that they built up with the initial PSVR going again, because, I mean, it's one of those things. If they have a good VR setup, it will push me to get a PS5 significantly faster than I'm already planning to get one.
Yep. And
where were the like the killer PSVR apps? It was the Iron Man thing.
Iron Man was on
Astro's Playroom. Supposedly Astro's Playroom was really good.
Yeah.
Vader Immortal was really good too.
Vader Immortal.
But I mean,
hold on.
man.
I just want to add one more title in there. And this is just a popular VR title in general. If you guys have not played Super Hot VR, whether it's on any VR system, but it's on PlayStation, for me it's the killer app. It's a game that it's like being in the freaking Matrix. And it's just super addicting gameplay. It drops you into like crazy situations that you have to like quickly get yourself out. If you move, time moves. So killer app. Cool Hand.
No, man. So like I said, the anticipation for VR has already been there for me. Once I saw like the ergonomic controllers, I was already sold on it. The fact that when we had Hip Hop Gamer, shout out to Hip Hop Gamer,
shout out,
on the show very early on.
Plug.
By the way,
if y'all ain't know,
before we even hit 100 subs, man, he had told us, some insider knowledge in terms of like, expect big things when it comes to PlayStation VR, and just getting the specs of what we're getting right now for a consumer grade product, like you said, Nova. It's mind-boggling, right? Because it shows me, hey, they are committed to pushing the envelope forward.
Mm-hmm.
Not only are we going to get virtual reality, we're going to get censored controllers. Like, now I get to feel what's going on in a virtual reality game, which makes me excited for games like Resident Evil Village, which we know is going to get a VR upgrade.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Right now.
Exactly. I'm excited to get back into Dreams once VR 2.0 is out. Man, it's just so many things that there's the possibilities are endless. I'm excited to see if they end up doing some sort of multiplayer, like online multiplayer via VR. That would be really cool.
Yeah. Well, hey, Cool Hand, just to add on what you're saying, maybe with this new tech, this can finally happen. as we all know, the controllers for PSVR currently are 2 generations old. I mean, shit. We still are using PS3 motion controllers and you can use them on the PS5. Like this is crazy. So even if, and by the way, if you have a PS5 and want to use VR, you have to basically go on Sony's website, send the serial number for your little processor box, and they'll send you one in the mail eventually. It's basically an adapter so you can use PSVR and PS5. And I actually heard that you do get performance gains from using PSVR and the PS5. It just that none of these games were made with that in thought, so it's like very slight.
I mean,
gains.
I mean, there's like I've already like kind of I guess I've kind of jumped the gun a little bit, right? Like I don't own a VR, like anything VR right now, but yeah, I bought some VR games. Like I bought Doom 3 for the VR because I'm expecting to get it. I'm expecting to play it for VR 2.0. Like that, and that there's certain games that I already like have in my backlog right now that I'm just gonna dive into once VR 2.0 comes out. That I can't wait. I can't wait to get scared. You said what?
Fuck no.
Skyrim?
No. Let Skyrim burn in hell. It was nice knowing you, but no. You've overstayed your welcome, Skyrim. Die, please. Yeah,
There's a whole community out there that hates you right now.
No, I beat it.
Wasn't the
Skyrim.
GTA 5
No,
in
I
VR?
fully agree. Let's fucking stop with the Skyrim
Thank
bullshit.
you.
It's been
how
many years at this point that we keep going to the same well? Come on, let's move past it.
How about the GTA 5 well? Let's give us a VR of that game.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I actually would not care for that. But you know what? Since you brought up GTA 5, Capono had a question for the panel. Basically, real quick, guys, what's your price prediction for GTA 5 recycled on on next gen?
$40.
$40, $50.
Oh yeah, I'll say $50. What about you, Griffin?
Oh man, $40 probably. Maybe 50 now that things are being priced at 70.
Yeah,
I think I would have said 40 before. So maybe
Miles
50.
Miles Morales was $40.
Yeah,
50.
Capono.
Ratchet and Clank remake was $40 as well.
I don't know. I'm gonna put my line in the sand and say 50.
CoolHand, last time you put your line in the sand with Ghost of Tsushima, we all know how that turned out.
Listen.
Bruh.
Made up for it, all right?
All
Our
right.
turtle predictions were goddamn close.
All right. I'm just saying. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about. We could just run through this one real quick. One of my favorite games of 2020, Final Fantasy VII Integrate. What we've learned recently is that this Integrate version is actually going to push the exclusivity another 6 months, which, to be honest, you know what? As much as like I love, playing what I play, owning what I own, it's kind of fucked up, man. I was like, you know what? Xbox guys, at least a year later, y'all will get this amazing fucking masterpiece of a game. But Sony's like, nah, we'll throw you a couple million, make those guys wait 6 months. By the time this game hits on Xbox, it's not going to hit. Anyways,
My fault.
no, it's all good. It's all good. I thought it was Rigo. Who the hell is Rigo?
Fuck you. Fuck you. And who's Rigo? I'm going back.
I have no idea. But yeah, I think this. I mean, whoever says that exclusives aren't consumer friendly, they can be depending on who's the consumer. It's definitely not to kind of bang the old drum, but it's like it's the same reason people stayed on Xbox when they had exclusive zombie maps 3 weeks before PlayStation. But the fact that the game is already over a year, it just kind of like, damn, yo. PlayStation is like not only putting salt in the wounds, they're stepping on it too. Like, fuck that. And Final Fantasy 16 exclusivity project, or what is it called? One that
Forspoken, I think.
Forspoken exclusive for a year.
Forsaken?
Yeah,
That's
Forspoken.
not a real word.
Forsaken.
Whatever
the fuck the game's called.
So what do you?
It might be called Forspoken.
I thought
they
it was
love
Forspoken.
their weird names.
Yeah,
it
is.
probably is called that.
It's called Forspoken.
Yeah, I know a lot. Yeah, because I remember a lot of people hate. They were like, "What the fuck is Forspoken?"
So what do you guys think about them pushing this? What do you guys think about this? Sony pushing the exclusivity window another 6 months. What are your thoughts about it?
I think it's important. I mean, we've definitely come to the point where everyone is under the realization that exclusives matter, and it's kind of crazy to kind of defend the other point at this point. But it's just good for us, right? Because that's something that we kind of hankered for during the beginning of this generation. It was like, yeah, we got exclusive PS5 games, but there wasn't that many PS5 exclusives like in the beginning. Now we're kind of entering a point where we're getting Ratchet and Clank. We got Returnal. We're getting Henna in the summer. We're gonna get games upon games upon games upon games. And now that they're gonna kind of extend that window, and it's actually it's a good thing because we just found out that God of War Ragnarok is getting delayed, so it kind of fills in a gap in which we're anticipating this other big game coming down the line.
Do you think this is fair to Xbox gamers, though, who already waited a year, who are told, hey, in a year you'll get this game, and now they're like, wait, no, sorry, we got some exclusive PS5 DLC that...
I mean, the game's not going to get worse because of waiting for it. The only thing that's going to happen is that they're potentially going to get a more up-to-date version, and then they're going to have a shorter timeline before the next game comes out, which, might be an exclusive, so they're going to have to wait again. Yeah. But like, yeah, does it kind of suck for Xbox gamers?
Well, doesn't it kill the hype?
Don't have a PlayStation that they're not gonna be able to play it immediately? Sure, but it's already, you're getting it after the release date. So like, if there's a strong chance you've already been spoiled on it regardless.
Yeah.
If they want to play it, they're gonna play it whenever it comes out. Like it's not gonna prevent them from playing it.
Yeah, I mean, there are movies that come out in theaters that I don't watch in theaters, but I catch it on like HBO Max or Netflix when it's on there. You know what I mean?
And it's also going to go in the other direction. It's going to go in the other direction when it comes to like Bethesda games. Like there's going to be a point where there's going to be games that come out for the Xbox that are probably going to be Xbox and PC for a while. And Sony gamers are going to have to wait on that. And I mean, it's like everyone's used to that at this point. Yeah. Like the fact that they're even coming out at all with Square games or Square Enix games on Xbox, that's a positive thing. There was 2 full generations where they were Sony exclusive.
Yeah,
I mean, wasn't Outriders was exclusive to Game Pass date, which was a big thing. So I think it's gonna be, you're gonna get both sides of the spectrum when it comes to that. They're gonna.
I want to see Square Enix's financials because they're raking in money left, right, and center from these exclusivity deals and from the different deals they're signing with different publishers and both acting as a developer and a publisher for different games.
Yeah,
like they're not the Square Enix of old.
Definitely.
I don't think they're like, I love Square Enix. I don't think their quality's really held up over the past like decade or so, but I can guess they're probably making a lot more money than they were making during the PS1 and PS2 era.
Dallas,
sure.
What are your thoughts on this, man? Because again, and I agree with you, Griffin, in the sense that they're gonna, once they get it, they'll be able to play. Like, who gives a fuck if they have to wait X amount of time? I'm just saying, traditionally, for exclusive deals, 1 year, as of these past couple years, is kind of like that's a timed exclusive for real. The fact that it's 18 months, that's a long ass time. If I'm an Xbox guy, I'm like, okay, I have to wait a year. A year is already too much for me if I'm a fan of the series. The fact that they're pushing another 6 months is like, bro, like, I don't even, like, what the fuck? Seriously. It kind of gets me mad even as a PlayStation guy. I'm just kind of like, yo, like, the fuck? It's not going to be new. So, of course, like,
so that's like that's kind of like what my point is. So Final Fantasy VII, it's a system seller. It's a massive game, big name recognition. Everybody knows what Final Fantasy VII is, and PlayStation, the way they do business is pretty interesting because they made so much money off Spider-Man from Insomniacs. Then they go back and then they just buy Insomniacs from the money they made from Insomniacs.
Yeah.
So So this is kind of something similar where they made a ton of money. They made a ton of money off Final Fantasy VII Remake being exclusively sold on the PlayStation, and they turn around, it's like, hey, let's invest this money that we just made to hold this thing even longer. So people have to, if they want to play this game, they gotta buy a PlayStation.
They're shorting the stock.
Yeah, I mean, it's a system seller. Like, there's not many games are system sellers, and I think Sony realizes that. So that's why you gotta put the money up if you want a system seller. You know, Final Fantasy VII is a system seller. Like, a new Final Fantasy game in the series that sells systems too.
Yeah. Final Fantasy as a franchise is a system seller. You are going to find people that, and this is the case with some stuff, like whether it's like Fortnite or Minecraft or whatever. There are people that will only play Final Fantasy.
Yes,
they don't play other games. And Final Fantasy has changed a lot over the past 10, 15 years. But you're going to find people that are intensely loyal to that brand.
Yeah, and I'm sure Sony is seeing the numbers, and they're seeing it, play on real time with the success of the remake. So it just makes sense.
I think this is and I wouldn't say equal in like the Microsoft Bethesda power move, but I honestly do think this is a power move. And the fact that they're not just doing it for this game, they also have shit behind the scenes with Final Fantasy 16 and Forspoken. So they're really putting their foot on the neck. And let's be honest. I mean, relationship-wise, I'm not a video game business expert, but Microsoft, I would assume, has the bag to easily do something like this of this capacity. So I wonder what leverage Sony had to be able to like pull this shit off. Because you got to think, someone at Square Enix is saying, whoa. We have a whole entire, between two generations, right? Last gen and this gen, who, we're missing out on all these potential sales just to kind of help feed Sony's bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, it's two factors, I would say. It's one is Sony can also throw the bag because they're, a $1 billion company. And also Sony and Square Enix have been doing business together for a long time. So I'm sure they have really good relationships with each other where they
Japanese.
probably, enjoy doing business with each other. They probably, those execs probably know each other pretty well. They've been releasing games with each other for decades.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's a good relationship where they just, it's a no-brainer for them to work with each other.
Well, from the outside looking in, we always, from the outside looking in, we see Microsoft always throwing money, but then you see Sony. What they do is they'll throw money, but then they'll also say, hey, we're not going to throw money to own you. We're going to throw money to nurture you. We'll let you have autonomy, but just give us something else on the back end to show, like just in the show of good faith, right? And that's kind of like what they've been doing. They're doing it with this New Haven studio, with that with the woman, with the lady Jade Raymond.
Yeah.
They're doing it with Discord.
Yeah, with Epic. They've been throwing Epic a lot of money lately.
Exactly. So, they're doing all these things, like it's not to take over, but just kind of like they're grooming, right?
We scratch your back, you scratch ours.
Groom this studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're definitely not grooming Square Enix, but it's that that relationship. Yeah. They're leveraging their long-standing relationship with Square Enix to get shit done like that. Because I'm actually surprised. I'm like, damn, why didn't Phil Spencer lock down all the Final Fantasies? He could.
They've had that relationship with Square Enix since they became Square Enix.
That's true.
When Square and Enix merged, I think that was, I want to say it was late PS1, early PS2 era, because I want to say like Final Fantasy 9 or 10 was the first actual Square Enix game.
Facts, yes.
And like they were, for the first almost 10 years of their lifetime, they were pretty much a Sony only company.
Yeah. Well, remember, Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be a Nintendo game, except Nintendo's technology wasn't up to par, and like, screw you guys.
The cartridges couldn't deal with the memory needs of the game, in addition to other issues they had with it. But the N64, essentially not being a good enough console, is why Final Fantasy VII became a Sony thing.
Yep.
Man, no wonder those characters look so blocky.
What do you mean?
Facepalm.
What do you mean they look so blocky? I mean, are you saying that because of?
I mean, I'm talking about those sprites.
Are you talking about in related to N64 or I'm confused.
I mean, they still pushed the absolute limits of what the PlayStation can do just because of how big that game is.
Yeah. 3 discs.
And it came out, 1997, 1998? Like, there was a couple more years of them, figuring out what the PlayStation could do prior to or after that game came out. So, I mean, if it had come out, it might have been 99. I don't know. No, it was definitely like 97, 98. It's got to be. I'm just going through my head right now.
So, yeah, that's just an interesting take. Everyone had great takes. We'll see what the future holds for between Sony and Square Enix. I mean, again, this shocked me because I was just like, damn, that's a ballsy fucking move to keep a game off of another platform for a year and a half. I mean, we're getting Falconeer, we're getting a lot of these games that are like temporarily exclusive on Xbox. So, I guess we'll see once we get those heavy hitters like Starfield and Avowed, etc.
If we'll get Starfield, I don't know if we're getting Starfield.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're not getting.
I think Starfield's going to be an exclusive.
Yeah.
But it might be timed.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
Who knows?
Until we get those games, it's going to seem at least a little more one-sided. But hey, 2022, 2023, we could be talking a whole different tune. So let's stay open.
Business changes super quickly, and they are saying that they want this to be the longest generation of the recent generations. Like the most recent one was like 6 years. They said they want this one to go for a decade.
Yeah,
before they release new console.
I thought this recent one was more than 6 years, wasn't it?
2014 to 2020.
Yeah.
13 to 2020.
Like 7 years. Pretty average. The only one that was 10 years was PS2.
PS3. No, PS2. Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, let's move on from this, guys. I'm trying to think how much. I'm trying to be good with the time because I know we have our whole list night segment. For those still around, stick around, man. We got a really dope segment coming up. So
yeah, and in the chat, I am dropping another link to List Night. Go check it out.
Go check out List
Night.
Appreciate
you guys.
If you have a list, go make a list with your friends.
Now,
man. It's pretty
now
dope.
I'm gonna do some like on-air production. All right, I'm asking for y'all help. Do we want to talk about Epic versus Apple?
I mean, all I'm gonna say is tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow is the day. We should talk about it.
Tim Cook is gonna go on the stand tomorrow.
All right, we're talking about it.
I mean, $, since you've been kind of following this case a lot closer than all of us. Can you give us basically a breakdown of what's happened so far and what we expect tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I've been following the case like day to day because it's like ongoing right now. Like, we've been getting like bits and pieces of info, mostly just from like interesting parts of the court case that's been ongoing. So like the recent, I think they took to the stand like one of the execs from Microsoft, and she went into like the financials of Xbox and how Xbox wasn't actually making any money. Well, they sell at a loss, and they make the money back by services like Game Pass, and Xbox Live is how they make all their money, and that's just kind of like how they were trying to defend their 30-70 split. Because the whole thing is, in order for you to, so the whole beef of Epic and Apple is, in order for Epic to have a game on their store, they have to agree to whatever in-game purchases they make is a 30-70 split. And Epic is like, hell no, that's messed up. Like, do you guys take a 30% split from Amazon? Whenever you buy something from Amazon, you guys getting 30% of those revenues? Like, no, you're not. So how come, we gotta do this split? Or are you guys taking a split from a 30% split from Netflix, from the licensing fees that people are just like really nitty, like into the detail kind of things that they're trying to like say how it's unfair, or it's just not right for them to be able to enforce this, like saying, hey, this is our walled garden is what they call it. And in order for you to be able to play in this walled garden, whatever money you make, you gotta give us 30%. And the way we will enforce this is you have to use our payment system. So whatever in-app purchases you make, it has to go through the Apple payment system. And what Epic did was specifically with Fortnite. They added their own in-game payment system where it completely avoids Apple, and all the profits go to Epic, and Apple gets none of it. And that's when they took Fortnite off the App Store, and since then they've been basically fighting in court for them to basically have the right to put Fortnite back in the App Store.
Damn.
There you go, guys.
That's actually really crazy.
There's a good breakdown.
That's a great explanation.
We'll follow up next week, depending on what happens with Tim Cook, and seeing where the saga from Epic versus Apple turns up. I do think the whole Xbox was never profitable statement to come out. If you guys look at the screen, I got a little quote from IGN. Essentially, what Apple was trying to do is they were trying to play Microsoft's bluffs. So after this happened, lawyers from the Apple camp were basically challenging Microsoft. Okay, well, you say that you've never been profitable. Prove it. Show us the financial statements. And if you've been following the case, you've seen that Microsoft basically showed everything minus their financial statement. I mean, it's literally redacted. Literally, you'll see everything minus the financials. So, while Microsoft might have a dog in this fight, I don't think they're going to go as far as releasing financials. But Apple's very smart for baiting them.
Wasn't there also a statement about Phil Spencer and how he kind of fumbled a situation with Epic?
Yeah, $sign could probably explain that a little bit better.
Yeah. So like I was saying earlier with Epic, before them adding the in-game system to Fortnite, they're planning to do this. They basically, Epic was playing this whole chess move and calculated Apple's responses, and so basically they add their in-game payment system. Apple responds by removing the game off the App Store. Then they release immediately after, literally hours later, they release a trailer where they make Tim Cook this sour apple, and everyone's drones, and it's making fun of an old 1985
Apple
commercial from Apple, where it's basically against the establishment. We're against the establishment. But what Epic did was they turned Apple into the establishment and saying Epic is against the establishment. So it was super calculated. And what showed that it was extremely calculated was this email between Tim Sweeney and Phil Spencer, where Tim Sweeney basically laid out this plan. We're going to do this on this date, on August 25th is the start of the new season of Fortnite. We're going to introduce in-game purchases through our system instead of Apple's system. They're going to take our game off the store. So this is a perfect time for a win for you guys to make free-to-play games actually free and not require an Xbox Live Gold subscription. So they're basically saying, imagine the marketing that you guys can have with Apple removing Fortnite from the App Store and you guys making Fortnite truly free to play all in the same day. So Tim Sweeney was trying to orchestrate this massive chess move.
He was trying to finesse.
And Phil was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Oh, fumbled the bag.
Yeah. Well, in hindsight,
and
he probably didn't know.
In hindsight,
go ahead.
So in hindsight, eventually they did make free-to-play games no longer require Xbox Gold, because they tried to, infamously double the price of Xbox Gold to force people to buy Game Pass. Yeah. And the backlash of that was so severe that they decided to not do the price hike, and as a bonus, they made free-to-play games no longer require Xbox Live.
Yep, I think
so they ended up doing the thing Tim Sweeney wanted, but based off public pressure instead of looking like the nice guy.
Yeah, they would have definitely looked way better if they just did that without. I'll say this: when we do our year-end list, and maybe this can be a list night thing, biggest L in video games this year. I'm revealing my list now. That's number one. The price hike, the 24-hour price hike. It's going up. It's going up for and then the next day they get fucking murdered online, and then it's what Did we say that? No, free gold. You don't need gold anymore to play free to play games.
Nah, you remember the guy.
They got caught with their pants down.
You can go mow lawns. You can work a second job
to pay for the price hike for Xbox.
To pay for the price hike.
Fuck yourself.
Whoever that guy is, I hate you.
Shout out to Kid Smooth. You know what? I think this is a good time. Well, let's see how we're about hour 13 minutes in. I think what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and switch to the guest segment of the show. We are going to turn it over to GQ. Insomniacs.
All right, guys.
X List Night.
Do a little list night action. All right. Well,
wait 1 second. GQ.
Wait 1 second. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to drop the link one more time for our people here that's tuning in. You know, if you guys haven't seen List Night,
hold on.
You guys want to check it out.
$, let this man plug his own show.
Oh no, it's cool.
Go. Oh. Cool hand.
You don't even know your name. That's how he feels about you. He don't even know your name.
Who are you?
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys plugging my stuff for me. You make my job so much easier. I appreciate you guys having me on the pod as well. For anybody that doesn't know what List Night is, it's me and a group of my buddies who are significantly funnier and smarter than I am. Essentially, every week we have an episode that comes out. We rank really niche, random topics, and we argue about those topics. Like, you've probably seen ranking podcasts or things along those lines. We do it in a list format. You know, we get after it. We say deeply hurtful things to each other, all in the pursuit of being right. And every single week we compete and see what the fans think about our lists. And so, you know, I've been invited on this pod this week. Not my first time here, but it is the first time we're going to do a listing. And we're going to be listing this week with my guys on the Insomniacs podcast. We're going to be listing the game series that we most want to see rebooted. And because this is kind of, you know, the way that I do my format, we're going to start with me this week just to make sure that everybody kind of has the format down. And then I've got the order written down and I forgot it. We're going to go $. Is going to follow up after me. After him is going to be Cool Hand. And then we are going to close it out with Nova. And so we're going to do top threes. Normally on the podcast, we do top fives, but I don't want to take up 10 hours of your time. So you guys all ready? You want to get into it?
I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
All right. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through my top three. I'm going to talk about all of them. $. Sounds hype. You love to see it. And then, you know, if you want to talk trash on them, talk trash on them. Number 3 on my list. This one, throwing it back, last time they came out with a game was in 2003. And I think there's been some there's been some rumors about it for the past few years, and I see it coming up on Reddit and on Twitter a lot more recently. I think our generation is at a point where they're like, yo, if they're not going to come out with another one of these games, we got to develop them. Number 3 on my list is the Legacy of Kain series.
Classic.
And it is a classic, and that's why it's crazy. There hasn't been a new game in almost 20 years. Cool Hand, say what you're going to say.
No. I said, that's good. That was good.
All right. Oh, it's good? Okay. All right. I couldn't read your ooh. I didn't know if it was a good ooh or a bad ooh. But yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite, like, I guess, adventure platformer action games from like the late 90s and early 2000s. It had a really cool aesthetic, really cool art style. It had this whole like mythos around the different characters. It was like there were multiple different main characters throughout the game. Obviously, Kain being the primary one, but there was also I'm gonna completely blank on his name right now. Now that we're on the pod, it was like Raziel or something like that.
Yep.
Just really cool games, really cool design. Kind of Castlevania-esque in terms of the design that they had. Definitely at a point where they were making vampires like super cool again and super violent and super gory and super like colorful prior to the like super gray and super boring Twilight era of vampires and mythology and all that. And yeah, I would just love to see those games come back. There's been kind of a resurgence in platformers in recent years, and I think it's time for the Legacy of Kain series to make its long-awaited return, and I hope it sells better than it did back then, because it kind of petered off as time went on.
Yep, and I just want to point out the developer, if you look in the bottom left of the jewel case, Crystal Dynamics, also known for Lara Croft, but this was dope because it was like a darker series outside of Lara Croft. But no, Legacy of Kain, I'm 100% agreeing with you. This would be dope to see back. And I remember not too long ago, there were some slight rumors. Like there was, I think Crystal Dynamics put up something on Twitter and was like, hey, what are like a series you guys would want to see again? And a lot of people said Legacy of Kain, to their surprise. So interesting.
Yeah, one of you mentioned Crystal Dynamics. One of the things not in the favor of Legacy of Kain coming back anytime soon is that Crystal Dynamics is one of the companies working on the recent Avengers game, and that game didn't do so hot.
No.
And because Square Enix and Marvel and everyone else that worked on that game is trying to recoup their investment, I feel like they're going to be committed to trying to support that game for a long time. So, fingers crossed that they don't have to just continue to deal with a sunk cost. But I hope, whether it's, them selling the rights to somebody else or them doing it themselves, I hope they get to revitalize this series, because I think it would be just awesome on a modern console.
I think I played the demo of this game from back in the day where you got like Pizza Hut. They give you like a little demo CD. I think it came with like the first level of this game. I got to play it.
I can confirm.
That was pretty dope.
This is definitely on the Pizza Hut demo disc. I still have it to this day. There were only two different demo discs for Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut demo disc. That's a throwback. I miss those. I miss that era of gaming.
Oh, me too.
I will say, like, the advertisements back in the day were super creative and fun to watch. Like, I go back now to watch like just a vintage game trailer, and I'm just like enthralled. I'm like, damn, this used to be on my television screen, and this was like cool as fuck. It was really
nothing tops the PS3 promo teasers with the freaking baby that's twitching and all the fucking trippy, just like dark commercials. Nothing tops that. But yeah, go ahead, Griffin. Sorry for interrupting.
All right, no. I love the interruptions, by all means, and when we're going through yours, definitely try and get your initial spiel out. But there are going to be interruptions, and that's part of the fun of List Night. So that's my number 3. My number 2 pick is a little bit more recent, and it's a series that got a couple games. Excuse me. I honestly didn't even play the third game. I heard less than stellar things about it, and it didn't really hold my interest. But I would like to see it make a return, because again, I think it's one that would do really well on modern consoles. My number 2 pick is Resistance: Fall of Man.
Fuck.
With the original, it came out. The original one came out on PS3. It was a PS3 launch title. It was a baller ass game. I thought that it was going to be Sony's IP that was going to compete. They treated it like it was going to be a Halo competitor, when really I think Killzone was the Halo competitor. Yeah. And I think really the way that, like, aesthetically,
the first one didn't have it online.
Right, which is kind of weird. Yeah. Aesthetically, it was more similar to Gears of War than it was to Halo, though. And if Sony had like a big 2 franchise of what, like, Resistance and Killzone or Uncharted or whatever the hell they're going to do from the shooting perspective, and then Microsoft had Halo and Gears, I think those games would have continued iterating in a more interesting way than they have. I think Xbox has been allowed to kind of rest on their laurels a little bit, because Sony hasn't really been killing the shooter genre. Like, they've got all the same multi-platform shooters.
Facts.
That Xbox has, but for exclusives, they had 2 really good franchises, and Resistance being one of them, and they didn't do a lot with it.
Yep.
But again, really cool, like alternate history Earth, post World War I, World War II, like aliens invade and shit just gets fucking wild. So it's like every cool alternate history stories you hear where human technology goes in a completely different direction. And they were just fun games. They were cool games with, and I keep using that word, aesthetic. It's clearly my favorite word, with a cool aesthetic. And I'd love to see them come back. Worst case scenario, I'd love to see them remastered. but I think there's a lot of really cool things that you could do with a full reboot of the franchise.
There's actually a big, community right now, and it's growing right now, of people who wish to see this game get rebooted. And there's actually rumors about this game possibly getting a reboot. So
Facts.
I wouldn't be surprised if I see it in the future, because Sony desperately needs a multiplayer game, and I think Resistance is the perfect game to do that.
Well,
it's a universe that you could do so much in. You could do like an Eastern Front, a Western Front, a Pacific Front. Like you could basically do what you do with normal like World War II or Cold War era war games, and add that alien dynamic and add the alternate technology dynamic and the alternate history dynamic, and just have a really cool franchise that is super easy to iterate on every few years. But I'm not a developer, so who knows?
Yeah, it's funny because like if you look into the history of Resistance, like Insomniac Games actually looked at the game as like homework. Like they're making like Ratchet and Clank, they did Spyro, and like it was basically learning how to make a first-person shooter, and that's really what started Resistance.
They did a great job.
They did.
No,
yeah,
sorry,
they're a great developer.
And it just sucked that the first game, and I think it kind of hurt the second game a little bit, because the first game didn't have the online base that it should have, and by the time the second game rolled around,
I was on there.
Online base was I was on there too, but it was dated compared to what it should have been for the second game.
I mean, it was fun. I love the Bullseye.
I just want to say one thing real quick. Not only is Resistance dope because it's made by Insomniac. It was different. Yeah, I was glad to throw that in. Again, like you were saying, Griffin, it was like you had this or you had Killzone, right? And I think they had their different crowds. I think Resistance was a little more up in your face, was a little more quicker. And the variety of the weapons and shit was just dope.
Oh my god, it was so cool. And just like the side stories, man. Like when you picked up the notes and things like that, and you go through the dossier, it was so cool. Like seeing the classifications of the different aliens, and then like how it kind of integrated into World War II and things like that. Like that shit was fire.
Man, teenager me was not reading.
Yo, drop your in the spirit of List Night, if you're watching this live, drop a series or two that you want to see remastered or rebooted. Glizner, shout out to you, man. Talking about if Timesplitters 4 rumor is true, maybe we'll see a remaster. Hey, man, everyone who's past the age of 24 would definitely be open to that idea, because Timesplitters was
high key. I thought about putting Timesplitters on my list, and then I saw that they were renewing the IP and potentially bringing Timesplitters back, and I was like, well, now I can't say it because it might be coming, so I don't need to wish for it. It might happen.
And one last thing before you move on to the next one, and going off of what CoolHand was saying, with the rumors this game come back, Insomniac the past 6 months, they've tweeted multiple times screenshots from Resistance. So I just want to put that out there. It's, hey, and it's not like TBT post. It's like, oh, chilling, eating hot dogs or something, and then they post like a Resistance screenshot of like some alien. So yeah, maybe this one's in the future. Good call.
Fingers crossed. Would love to see it. Okay, that's my top 3 and top 2. I'm gonna give you guys my number 1. And like Nova mentioned, if you guys have any of your own reboots you want to see, drop them in the chat. Would love to see what anybody watching has. Number 1 for me is actually one that had the least number of titles, and really, there's only 2 games. The first and second game are not really connected to each other in any legitimate way. They just are sold under the same brand. My number 1 pick that I'd love to see a reboot for is Dark Cloud, and from the PS2 era. I don't know if y'all played Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud, for anyone that doesn't know, was like pretty not standard RPG fare, but pretty standard RPG action adventure game. But it had a really cool like city builder element to it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. Did you guys ever play the Monster Rancher games or anything like that, or the Digimon
Never
Hunter
have.
games
Yes.
from PS2?
I played
Yes.
Digimon Hunter, never Monster Rancher.
So
I
Dark
know
Cloud
the
was
game.
Dark Cloud was a little similar to that in that like you would go into a cave and it would be like a multi-tiered world where basically every time you cleared a level, you'd go a little bit further down. Monsters would get a little bit harder. It was somewhat roguelike in that like the potential maps that you were on could slightly change, where like rooms could be in a different place, treasure chests could be hidden elsewhere. Sometimes you'd open a treasure chest and it would be a monster instead, stuff like that. And you'd work your way down until eventually you got to like a boss fight, kill the boss or die to it, return home. And during the portion of the time that you were like traveling through the caves, outside of collecting standard items like potions and all that, you would also collect pieces of your village that had been destroyed, and you could place them in this overarching like top-down world and like rebuild your village. So you would have, you know, your house placed in the center, and then you could have like the town hall and the item shop and the weapon shop and all those things. And over time, you would essentially rebuild this village and find the people that were supposed to populate the village and like get them all their stuff back. So there was all these different little like side quests. And it was just a really fun way to encourage you to continue to progress through the game, because you were basically putting your hometown back to the way it was at the start of the game. You were solving this problem, and you were able to see like quantitative progress the entire time because the city was coming back. I think, and that was with the PS2 generation. So like it wasn't like it was a cool art style, but it wasn't like crazy pretty. The enemies weren't like crazy advanced. They didn't have any like AI or anything like that. They basically just like ran at you and fought you.
Yeah.
You were with that on a modern console and you were to like really expand out like the base building aspect of it and the city building aspect of it.
That should be bonkers.
Again, it's another thing that would be like a legitimate franchise if it was in the hands of the right developer and they put a lot of time into it, because it's a combination of a lot of fun genres that don't normally go together.
And it kind of blended so well in this.
It blended really well. And it's one of those games, like people talk a lot these days about progression in games and how like side quests, like they're so many side quests are just like fetch quests where there's nothing interesting to them, and basically all you're doing is like picking up, you know, one of 300 different like pieces of bird shit or something like that. Like it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. In Dark Cloud, the side quests legitimately like functioned as a portion of the main quest, and you wanted, and they encouraged you to continue playing the game.
Hey, great take and also great list, man. That was actually, I got your list first, and I thought it would be, well, I'm not going to ruin anyone else's list, but I definitely thought you had a great variety. I do want to just address Glinsner in the chat. He dropped his list. He said Fatal Frame, Parasite Eve, Dino Crisis. Yeah, like horror. Dude, that's a fire list. That is a fire fucking list. Especially Parasite Eve. Whew. Love that game.
Hell yeah.
But damn, man, that's a great list, man. I did notice
appreciate it.
You have a PS1, 2, and 3 game on there. So
yeah, definitely some Sony titles. I mean, I was a PlayStation gamer until the 360 era.
60, yeah.
And there's not really anything like there's a lot of stuff from the 360 era that I'd like to see rebooted, but a lot more of it is like things that I would like to see remastered.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really a point. Like it's not far enough back where
facts.
There's just not that much iteration I think they could do on it. But like graphical enhancements would be sick. Quality of life enhancements would be sick. But in terms of actually like taking a game from an earlier era that could be a like much better game now, PS1 and PS2 had so much quality. They were like perfect consoles.
Yeah, facts. All right, I guess we can get on to the next list then.
Yeah. Fuck you on number 2, by the way, GQ.
Dollar sign, it's your time.
Dollar sign. All right, dollar sign. We got your list here.
All right. So number 3 on my list. Actually, I don't know what order I gave you.
It's basically 1, 2, and 3. So what you're looking at is your order. So you'd start from the right left.
True. All right, so now my number 3 is Sly Cooper. I'm really loving what they're doing with Ratchet and Clank. Just kind of like a soft reboot, and it's like working really well. So I think they could redo that, but for Sly Cooper, it's already like a very narrative, type game where there's a lot of story to it. There's a lot of lore, and just imagine that getting the AAA treatment from Sony would be pretty awesome. Like they were gonna make a movie just like they were doing for Ratchet. Yeah, no, I think it would be really sweet, and if Sucker Punch made it, and they like throwing Easter eggs of Sly Cooper. Like there's an Easter egg of Sly Cooper in Ghost of Tsushima. You can get a trophy for getting the Sly Cooper set.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So there's a few spots you need to go, and you can get you can even get like a headband with the Sly Cooper cane.
Interesting.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's you can rep Sly Cooper and Ghosts, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I just love to see what Sucker Punch could do with it. Like, I feel like there was a lot of Sly Cooper in the Infamous games. So I know
in terms of the rail riding.
Yeah, just like traversal and
graffiti.
I don't know,
and
and like the big open world.
Yeah, I got that too.
So like I know they can like do it justice, and even though it's not like a super old game, I feel like it can get a soft reboot, kind of like Ratchet and Clank. All right, my number 2 game, Def Jam Vendetta.
Hell yeah!
Like who did
I've been
not?
Seeing this a lot on, I've been seeing this a lot on social media.
Sorry about that, guys.
Dude, Def Jam Vendetta was the shit.
Yeah.
Like me and Nova, like we'd go every single weekend. We, stay at each other's houses. We were playing Def Jam Vendetta, either Def Jam Vendetta or fucking around GTA.
Or hey, don't forget Fight for New York. Def Jam Vendetta, Fight for New York, which is my
just
I played Fight for New York a lot more than I played Vendetta, but they both slapped.
Yeah, facts.
Icon, we can forget about Icon.
Oh yeah, forget
Anthony
about
Anderson. That never happened. Yeah, no, this game was so much fun. It'd be really cool if they reboot it, like make it like like fake wrestling, super cartoony, just like but the rappers of today. So I'd like to see the Baby, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, Drake. How fun would it be to be Kendrick Lamar and fuck up Drake?
Or
I could live out my beef. I would love to see
exactly.
Versus Drake. Common versus Drake would be amazing.
Oh man, Canada Dry. Or
Lil You're Pump. A son of a bitch because I imagine what your father is.
Lil Pump versus Soulja Boy.
Uzi. I would
or Uzi.
Like imagine they put Kanye in that game.
Oh man.
Like what would Kanye do? I feel like he'd shoot laser beams out of his mouth.
Nah, Kanye. You know how like everyone has like their move where they kind of like they have a little animation where they're like, "Oh, I'm about to fuck you up" or something like that. I wonder what Kanye's would be.
I'm a genius.
I'm Steve
He's
Jobs.
having like a mental breakdown.
No, he literally becomes Jesus.
Get Kanye help, guys. Come on, don't put him in your video games. Just get him help.
His transformation, he becomes Jesus, and he just wrecks you. Yeah, that would be dope.
Yo. So what about a cool animation where like when he loses, Kim Kardashian shows up?
Oh man.
I mean, they should put Kim Kardashian in the game.
Be more willing to play that game. Yeah.
Like they had what's her name? The girl from the clothing line. She's married to
Kimora Lee Simmons. That's so random.
Kimora Lee Simmons.
Yes,
that's so random.
She was in the game.
Well, she was married to Russell Simmons, who owned.
So they should put Kim Kardashian in the game.
Yeah, I would love to see her serve Kanye divorce papers every time he loses in the game.
Oh man.
Like just.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie.
That would be hilarious.
And we're not. This is not pop culture, but I still think Kanye's taking the dub out of this whole situation. Just saying. That can be an after show.
Not the narrative though.
Who cares about the narrative? He's a multi-billionaire.
Is anyone taking the dub in that situation? I don't know. Like, I just kind of feel bad for everybody involved.
They're both billionaires.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm say like Kanye's net worth is now over $1 billion, so it's definitely taking a dub somewhere.
No, it's not.
But what about his mental net
it's
worth?
hers.
I don't know how we got.
You guys think about that?
Hold on, I have to just make a break in this convo. Jonathan Isaiah says Trippy versus 6ix9ine. I would love to see that.
Oh yeah, definitely gotta have 6ix9ine in the game.
Yeah.
Anybody versus 6ix9ine, he just bends over and takes it.
his special
Oh,
be like,
blog
test my
boy.
gangster. Test my gangster.
Yeah. Get out of here.
His special move is he runs away and calls the cops.
Nah,
Yeah.
when
That'd be
he
hilarious.
beats
Special
you,
move is house arrest.
when he beats you, he like his security comes and like just whoops your ass, like just and
Man,
would be
clearly
cool if,
people
like-
should pay us to develop games because we've got this down.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Honestly, it would be funny if like his special move, and then like all of a sudden like a court just appears out of nowhere, and he just points at you, and you get locked up.
Oh
That's
man,
it right there.
that's the finish.
Finish him.
That's the
That's the fatality right there.
That's it right there.
That feels very Ace Attorney.
Yep.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah, I'm with it.
All right.
Yeah, and final, my number one game, Metal Gear Solid. I'm always trying to push people on the Metal Gear, and it's like a really hard game for someone who's, only played games recently and not used to playing PS1 games. Because PS1 games, they're notoriously clunky if you play them nowadays. Tank controls, as people like to call like how you move around characters and whatnot. So it's really hard to play. I don't find it hard to play because it's my favorite game of all time. But like they should just modernize the game. Keep the story pretty much the same. Like basically make it kind of like what they did with the new Mass Effect trilogy, where they just kind of like modernize some controls and just like upscale it.
Hey,
Maybe remake it but it still needs to be the exact same story. They can't mess with the story.
Hey, Blue Point rumors, man. They've been saying this for a while. Blue Point's is working on a upgrade. I mean, on a remake, and apparently
If Kojima's not behind it, I don't.
It's a remake though. It's a remake by the team that made Demon Souls. I don't think anyone's gonna say no to that. Because think about it, this is not the first remake of Metal Gear Solid 1. They've remade it on GameCube in the form of Twin Snakes.
Oh, sure.
And Kojima was barely involved in that. So, yeah. I think I wouldn't agree with you on this one just because you just got a recent entry, Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, it did kind of end with a whimper because how Kojima and Konami had that messy breakup. And this is one of my favorite series. This is probably my favorite gaming series of all time as well. And yeah, it is. I agree with $. It's hard to get people in it because it's like, well, if you play the last game, you're technically playing the third game chronologically, and the first game chronologically is like the fifth game or the first game that came out on PS1 was like the fifth game.
They Star Wars the hell out of it.
Kojima,
really
I love him to death. Great artistic mind. Convoluted as shit.
Yes.
The dude loves overcomplicating things. And I mean, like, good for him because he's getting paid to do it. But Jesus.
Hey,
yeah,
it's still not as bad as Kingdom Hearts. I don't care what anyone says.
No, nothing ever will be. Nothing
Yeah.
ever will be. Even just the naming conventions of Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
are like an aneurysm waiting to happen.
180 minus 2 plus 5 days. Like, come on.
Only on your phone that's only available in Japan.
Yeah.
There's
come
like
on,
replica
guys. What are you
people.
doing? What are we doing?
Yeah. And you have to have one of these flip phone Sanyo phones because it's exclusive to Sanyo. You need to have a Sanyo phone to play this game. And it's only out for 3 months. Yeah. Let's not even get into Kingdom Hearts because I'm going to pour coffee on my computer. Like, that's how bad it triggers me. All right. Well, $, anything else? Any other final statements on Metal Gear? Besides the fact that Blue Point is probably making this game?
Yeah, I mean, Blue Point would be perfect because they're not going to mess with the the vision of the game. It's going to stay true to what it was, just like what they did with Def Jam, or not Def Jam, with Demon Souls, where there are some boss fights people were very unhappy with the original, and they didn't change the mechanics of those boss fights at all. Because there's like the demon god, and he's just kind of a gimmick fight, and like you would think, this big ass dragon should be like an epic battle, but it's still, even in the remake, a gimmick fight. So they'll do it right if they do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Something I'm surprised no one has said yet. I mean, we still have 2 more lists. Is Fight Night. That was
that's my honorable mention.
okay.
but only because Fight Night is such a. It depends on the roster of boxers, and it's so wishy washy.
Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson.
On and on.
Let's go. All right. Well, let's move on to the next list then. Griffin, you do the honors, sir.
Yeah. We're moving on to Cool Hand. Dollar Sign, I do want to say, great list. Not sure how I feel about Metal Gear making that list. Kind of more of a remake than a reboot, but it's fine. We're going to move on to Cool Hand now. And Cool Hand, I feel like maybe I already took one of yours, which you were still welcome to use it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But,
this is going to hurt.
That's why I went first.
This is going to hurt.
This is going to hurt me so bad.
Yeah, tough looks for my guy.
My number one and number two.
Oh, tough. So tough. Oh, you wish you were me. You're the Diet Coke version of me.
It hurts me so
Less
bad.
calories, same great taste.
Oh my god, it's so
Gotcha, bitch.
So my number three is definitely something that I hold near and dear to my heart. It was the first mature game I owned, and it's a game that I feel like doesn't get enough recognition for how cool it was at the time it came out. And the fact that we didn't get sequels and this didn't become a series kind of disappointed me. But Conquer, the Bad Fur Day, Live and Reloaded, we just need a reboot of Conquer. I think the world needs a reboot of a squirrel spewing out profanities. Mm-hmm. This game is amazing.
Don't forget
so much fun.
The shit boss.
Yes, the shit boss.
Yeah.
The shit
a
boss.
Literal turd.
But it was such. It's such a fun, imaginative, raunchy game that like kids who could trick their parents into buying thoroughly enjoyed. This was definitely like in the age of like where South Park was popping, where like the Attitude Era in wrestling was pushing the envelope. This was really cool adult humor, and it was definitely like in this kid form. And man, how I wish that this game gets a reboot. I think the last time they even put Conquer in was like when Microsoft tried to promote their HoloLens.
Oh man.
Back in like 2016.
You don't want to get caught with your wife playing Conquerors with the HoloLens.
But I will say, if and like this is just me, right? This is me as a fan of this game. If Microsoft were to say, "Hey, we're coming out with a new Conquer game, and we're gonna make a 1, 2, 3, and 4," I'd buy an Xbox today. Swear to God.
You heard it. Burn the traitor.
Heard it here first.
That game,
big news.
Conquer is enough for me to buy an Xbox. I don't care what else. This is just a me thing. This is a Cool Hand thing. This is just what I want. Conquer was such a fun game. I don't know who else disagrees with me. But yeah, I think it's time we get a Conquer game.
I disagree. The controller sucked.
I hope Microsoft hears you, because that $1 trillion that they currently have, they could definitely use another few hundred.
You know what they're going to do instead? They're like, we hear you, Cool Hand. We actually hear you, unlike Sony. What we're going to do is we're going to make Conquer Connect Adventures. And yeah.
I would play that. That sounds ridiculous. Of course I would play that.
Yeah. Glinzer said, N64 game, rated M, that had to be rare. No pun intended with rare. Hey, man, if you read the bottom of the box, advisory, this game is not for anyone under 17. Oh, hell yeah.
That game was crazy cool. Like, that game had such a cool factor to it. If you were a kid in elementary school and you owned Conquer, you were the coolest kid in that classroom at that point.
Facts. That is fucking facts.
My number 2, this was definitely a toss-up.
Hold on, real quick. Before you announce number 2, can I just drop a sound effects for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Hold on. Yo, so my number 2 is definitely this was a toss-up between Shinobi and obviously this game kind of edged it out more so because there were more iterations of this game. But my honorable mention, definitely Shinobi. But Sly Cooper, fuck you, $, because if you put this in number 3, I thought this would be like your number 1. But yeah, Sly Cooper, enough needed to be said by $. This game definitely deserves a reboot. The story itself was so dark for a kids game. I think when it initially came out, it was rated T, if I'm correct, right?
I think so. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Fact checkers?
No. E.
Was it E?
Yeah. It was E. It was E.
It's on the screen right now. We can see it.
Yeah,
says
it's on
E.
the screen. It's on the screen. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the screen. But it's definitely a game that when it came out, when you got introduced to the story, it was very dark. I love the fact that I love the imaginative story that came behind it. That it was a family history of thieves. That got passed down the cane from generation to generation. I thought that was really cool. It was there's no honor amongst thieves kind of game, but there is honor amongst a family of thieves. That was really cool too. I remember, I don't know if you guys on the panel remember, but there was a movie that was supposed to be in development around the same time Ratchet and Clank came out.
Yep, they canned it.
But I think because Ratchet and Clank kind of bombed. But I would love to see how that movie would have panned out and played out. It's been since the PS3 era since we got a Sly Cooper, and I think it's time for PS5 that we introduce a new generation of kids to this game. My number one. Damn it.
Hold on. One more time for you. Let's do it one more time.
You took the.
Just over here, Jock and Steve's.
It's just a 1-2 combo here for my number one and number two. But this is definitely a game that, like GQ said, I'm just gonna have to echo it, was to me the equal to Halo at its point, at its height. If the first game had the online, I think it would have been a very good competitive. Like I said right now, currently Sony, what they lack is their exclusive multiplayer that can bring people to their consoles. I think that's literally the only piece of the Sony puzzle that's missing right now. A Sony multiplayer that kind of breaks the game, that breaks the net like Halo did. There's really not much I can say that GQ hasn't said already about how
kind of a summary of your life.
Yeah, fuck you. But this is my number one. You guys suck. Hate you all.
One last time for Cool Hand, everyone.
My God, no. I gotta give it to you, Cool Hand. And this happens on the Listening podcast sometimes.
I know.
Sometimes you're gonna have crossover, and really, what that means more than anything else is that you had a good list because you've got something for everybody.
This is definitely reminiscent of high school when we used to do list night.
Bruh. Big time.
Yeah, big time.
All right. The floor is back to you. Oh, real quick, Griffin, before we move on, what do you think about like the list night scenes? I hope I subtly impressed you.
I'm loving them, man. I think you did a great job. I appreciate the time you put into this. Definitely making it clear and easy to see what's going on. And I'm a fan. I like a sweet and simple graphic.
And by the way, if you guys don't know, all these backgrounds I've been using on the last couple scenes have all been from Guilty Gear. I just, love me some GIF animated background from fighting games. Just brings me back to a warm place.
Guilty Gear has such a their animated backgrounds so nice.
Yep. All right, and then last but not least.
Definitely last but not least, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Nova. It's all you, man.
All right, so if y'all don't know, I got the most diverse left, right, up, down, around your head list here, and I'm gonna unveil it to you guys now. Boom!
Unveil it. I want to see.
Boom!
What an intro.
Where's the bomb? Where's the bomb? We got the bomb.
Do we have the bomb? I don't know.
What, you guys can't hear the bomb?
I don't think so.
Oh,
that's all right.
Damn
Let's
it!
Get it. Let's see him. Oh, there we go. Up on the screen.
Can y'all see?
With the clean background.
Can y'all
yes,
see?
Sir.
Make sure y'all see. Oh, that's why you guys can't hear the damn bombs. What about now? Oh, damn. Wrong one. All right. Screw the bombs. Wait.
No bombs, just games.
Bot 2021
All right.
Nova.
Let's get into it. So my list.
I respect the attempt.
Well, you know what? The viewers at home can hear it, and that's what matters.
That's what matters.
Number 3 on my list, Tenchu Stealth Assassins, PS1 game. So cue the. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I dropped the PS1 intro. Tenchu Stealth Assassins. Very, very, very interesting game. So first time I ever played it was actually at C-Dolla's Sign's house. His dad had a copy of the game because, that's what we used to do back then. They used to pirate our games like real men.
I had a copy of every game. What do you mean?
You did. But even though you had a pirated copy of this game, you did not play it because it was above your skill level. And being your cousin, fun fact.
Wow. You're just shitting on him on the pod.
Yeah, that's cold.
Being your cousin.
But honestly, during that time, I was playing like Spyro, Metal Gear, and I was happy. I didn't even touch this game.
We'll give you that. I'm just saying, being your older cousin, older by a month, I had the mental capacity to take on Tenchu, even though I didn't make it past the 3rd level. Fun fact about this game, right? This is your first ninja stealth action game. Funny story. Sony, not only did they what am I doing? Not only did they publish this game, this is a From Software game, right? Well, published by Activision, should I say, with Sony. But FromSoft. This is a fucking From Software game, guys. So this is you could even say is the precursor to a lot of these like stealth ninja games. I'm not going to go ahead and say stealth genre because that's Kojima all day. But me as the Metacritic guy, this game got an 87, right? Tenchu Stealth Assassin. I don't know if you guys have played it, but you could legitimately hop up on top of a roof, ninja star people, assassinate people. If you got spotted, you'd have to fight them, and you didn't want to get spotted in this game because this game had a knack to say, hey, if you get spotted, you better be skilled as fuck because you're gonna get fucked up. So the game rewarded you for being stealthy. It definitely will always have a place in my heart. It just, when I think like a get good game, it Tenchu, without a doubt. Glinzer in the. Oh, okay. You know what? Yo, Glinzer, shout out to you. You get the air horns. He said, Onimusha, Psyops, and Tenchu, that list is fire. Tenchu paved the way for stealth. It came out before MGS. Well, there you go.
There you go.
So stealth game before MGS, even though technically MGS was the NES game, like the original MGS, if we're not talking, or we're just talking Metal Gear. Yeah, that was technically the start of the stealth genre. But if we want to talk first 3D stealth game, then yeah, we got to give it to Tenchu, made by From Software, the creator of your favorite genre, the Soul series. All right, let's move up.
So
next.
I didn't.
Oh, good.
I didn't know that was a FromSoft game, but that's dope. B, I was saying something to you about dogging on C-Dolla about not being good enough to play it. I actually distinctly remember my neighbor across the street playing this game growing up, and I was not allowed to play it because when this game dropped, I was like 6 or like 7 or something like that. Like I'm kind of young blood. And his parents were like, no, you're not allowed to play the game because he was like 13 and I was like 6 or 7. And I watched him play this entire game. And you kind of made me want to go and emulate it because you are describing it with pretty glowing terms right now. And it sounds pretty hype.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. Now
it's making me remember it. It's making me remember yesteryear.
Yes. And I will say every Tenchu game that came out after it got progressively worse. But Tenchu Stealth Assassins, it's something. It's a game worth checking out. Tenchu 2, I believe, is where you get to choose. No, Tenchu 1 you could choose between two ninjas, if I'm right. If not, that was the second one where you can choose between the main character and a girl. But yeah, again, fire game. If you guys don't know about it, check it out. We got Glinzer in the chat. He knows what's up. Next up, we have PSYOPs, the Mindgate Conspiracy. If you've heard the show for more than if you've heard at least 3 or 4 episodes, then you know this game comes up often with me. This game is one of the most slept on PS2 titles. Again, let me repeat that. This game is one of the most slept on PS2 titles, right? This is a game which there was nothing like it at the time. By pressing L1, you had access to telekinesis. You could lift someone up, shoot them, and throw them at a gas barrel, all with one fell swoop. You had different powers that you would essentially you start off the game not remembering any of your powers, and as you go on through the story, you start to have these different flashbacks, which is basically like training for that power. And then you just kind of wake up out of your snap. You're like, oh, damn, I remember how to project my mind through walls. Now I can look at this person who's a certain distance away and make them off themselves or make them hostile to their friends. Or you can just have someone literally off themselves. You had pyrotechnics at a certain point of the game. The story is so badass and so fucking dark. I just listen. Don't take my word for it. Look up gameplay on this game, and I guarantee you will leave with a different perspective on it. It's really dope. If you have PS2 or emulator, play this game with a controller. I can't go.
Can I?
Good.
Can I read you something about this game real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
On the reception section on Wikipedia, it says in 2009, Games Radar included among the games with untapped franchise potential, commenting Midway's 2004 shooter combined traditional weaponry with protagonist psychic abilities and received favorable reviews. It was even reviewed better than the similarly minded Force Unleashed, yet we still haven't seen a sequel. So clearly there was a point in time, and maybe it's coming back. Maybe people are getting hyped about it again, where people were talking about this game as one of those things that needs to be rebooted.
Oh, dude.
That's a good pick, man. I don't even know anything about this game, but that's a good pick.
Oh, man. Hey, please, if you can play this game, please play it. Yeah, it's a game.
I've still got my PS2 somewhere. I'm sure I could cop it.
Yeah, definitely cop this game.
Or emulate it or whatever.
It really sips. So again, pyrokinesis, mind control, mind drain, where you'd basically just suck all their mental energy until their mind blows up or to their head blows up, and then telekinesis, which the ways you can use telekinesis in this game is unlike any other game. So let's say you need to get from point A to point B. There were points in this game where you're stuck and you're just like, damn, what do I do? You're trying to figure out shit. You're like, all right, let me hop on this box and let me telekinesis the box up. That way I can get to a different platform. Like the game, I'll move on from that, but just please check it out. PSYOPs.
It sounds dope.
It's my silver pick, my number 2 pick. Last but not least, let's get to my favorite game, which, funny enough, I'm actually going to stream this game next. So just to show you guys how much I love this game. Next game on the list is the one and only Onimusha game by Capcom. This is the same team behind Resident Evil. So while there are horror elements, you're a badass fucking samurai. So it's like enough horror where you can get over it with the sword. In my opinion, legendary series. They came out with 4 games, the 4th being ass in my opinion because they switched up the formula that was you shouldn't have switched up at all. This game, there are rumors, right? There was some leaked Capcom stuff going around a couple months ago, and I know we reported it on this show. And CoolHand, if you remember my reaction, I lost my shit. CoolHand, you there? All right. Well, he's somewhere. Yes, I lost my shit once I saw the fact that this was a potential reboot game that was coming in 2022. I don't know if the leak is real, but yes, this game. Think Sekiro before Sekiro.
My bad. I was muted real quick. I was washing my hands.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in a Target, and Nova screamed in my fucking ear, popped my eardrum. So thanks for the medical trauma, Nova.
Oh, anytime. So you know how much I love this series.
Yes.
Again, if you played Sekiro and don't know about Onimusha, what is you doing? You got to know about this game. This game is one of the the only game.
Get good.
I knew. Yeah, this is a get good game. This is a game where if someone's attacking you and you attack as they're attacking you, you will do a critical strike that will end them. It's high risk, high reward. Same thing with blocking or like moving around them, moving like kind of doing a sidestep and then hitting them as they're attacking. There's so many ways to play this game, so many different strategies you can employ, but it's a straight up action game. You get access to these 3 different weapons. I'm not gonna go too much into the story. You're basically part Oni, part demon, right, in your family, and basically the gods say, hey, we need you to kill these demons. We're giving you a power. You have elemental weapons. You have a electric sword, fire sword, and a wind staff. And it's very simple. You kill enemies. You suck in their souls through your arm or hand or whatever, and then you upgrade your weapons, right? There's just a little progress bar. You cannot collect enough souls, you upgrade your weapon. And every weapon had 3 stages, and it all has a special move that you can use. And just look out for my stream of this. I plan to go into more detail and really flesh it out. But yeah, I'm super excited to say this is my list. Glizner, shout out to you for knowing that it's fire. With that, I will retire my time.
A hell of a list and a hell of an iteration of the Insomniacs podcast version of the List Night podcast.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad that we got a chance to do this. I appreciate you guys putting these lists together. I hope that we open it up to your fans. Maybe throw it on Twitter or Instagram after the fact, so you can put all the lists out there so they know who to vote on. Or we don't have to do the voting. It's not a required part.
No, let's do that.
Yeah. Cruz wants to win. But is he gonna?
win?
Probably not. But yeah, no, it's good stuff. I'm glad we did this. This was a lot of fun. It's nice to do a little bit more game focused last night. So
for sure,
I appreciate you guys having me on for this one.
Oh, dude, it's our pleasure. And what we'll do is we'll try to work out something this weekend. I'm gonna work up a little promo video for this episode, and then maybe with that we can also drop the list as well.
Yeah. But I don't want to, because we couldn't do List Night and not have one of the creators.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
We're not.
Yeah, just don't let Thomas and Andrew hear you calling me the creator, because it is
one of the creators.
I gotcha. I gotta give dap to the guys I do it with, and a couple other guys that are not on the podcast with us. It is 100% a collaborative effort, and I'm just a small piece of it.
Yes, definitely. Thomas and Andrew are 2 of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. You guys haven't seen it before, go check out List Night. It's truly an original idea. I can't stress how original of an idea this is.
I love the support. I appreciate it.
Hey man, we love having you on. Guys, we have reached 2 hours. This was a very fun episode. And I just want to, again, thank Griffin for coming on with us. This is not his first time on the show, but I do want to let everyone know. I know I've been kind of slacking on having guests on this whole year. Griffin, you're our first guest. We are going to get back to doing guests more regularly. We just wanted to establish ourselves. As you know,
on Saturday,
the original 3 unit, being me, $, and CoolHandCruz. So yeah, now that we're back and ready to go, Insomniacs has a new look to it. Oh, by the way, everyone stick around for the end, because I have a new stream ending scene that, I want to see what you guys think about it. But on that note, GQ, again, it was a pleasure having you on. Everyone go check out List Night podcast. And where can they find that, GQ?
They can find it on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Just search for the List Night podcast. You can also find us on YouTube by searching for the same thing. We do both audio and video podcasts, so whatever your preference is. You can also follow us on Twitter @ListNight or on Instagram @list.night. and we appreciate any and all support. Share us with your friends. Share us with your enemies. Share us with your exes or your current significant others, friends, family, all that. Just share us, and we appreciate it.
You heard it here. $. You can do your
Where
outro.
can they find me?
Where can they find you?
They can find them in the club.
SoundCloud.com/C_$.
Bruh.
You heard it.
Oh, he dropped the link though. Hold on, he dropped the link though. He says SoundCloud.com C_$.
If the link's not in the
cop
chat.
his mixtape.
Yeah. Insomniacs podcast mixtape, never coming to a store near you. CoolHand, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitch at CoolHandCruz. You can find me on twitch.tv/CoolHandCruz. And I will be resuming my streams. I won't be probably not streaming this. I probably will be streaming this Friday. If I drop a promo, I will. If I don't, then I'll do it next Friday. But yeah, man, once again, Griffin, longtime friend, actually a friend for life. I will see you in November. And man, go check out List Night. Again, it's a really fun podcast. It has to do with everything that you might love or you might not, but still, it's a fun thing you can do with you and your friends. And it's something my friends really been doing since high school. Now they're finally doing it on YouTube. So go check it out.
Facts. All right, guys. With that, it's been a great show. If you haven't, follow our socials down below or up above. We'll catch you next week. It's been another great episode of the INSOMNIACS podcast. Shout out to y'all for tuning in. And don't forget, don't motherfucking sleep.